All right, everyone, it's time to talk about the leaked Google video showing their reaction right after the election. It dismays me that they are so dismayed at the fact that the people chose the wrong candidate. And they're literally talking about it in that sort of sense. They're saying, well, don't worry about it, people. We've got years and years. We're going to deploy AI, and we're going to do what we can to change the minds of low information voters. Yes, low information voters only voted for Trump. Nobody voted for Hillary Clinton based solely on the fact that they recognized the name Clinton or that she had a D after her name. The problem is if Google wants to apply, Google in their response to this says, well, we don't have any bias in our application of rules, in the way that we operate, but the leaders of your company are openly alluding to the fact that they intend to do that. And that's several years ago, and now all of a sudden a bunch of people are deplatformed and algorithmically manipulated on your site from having the wrong political beliefs. That's bias. Now, Google, of course, is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, which in turn is subjugate to Alphabet Inc., which is even bigger. We're talking up there towards the trillion market cap, along with Apple and Amazon. It's one of the three truly biggest companies. Bigger than Facebook. It's enormous. The assets it has, biggest search engine, which is Google, biggest email provider, which is Gmail, biggest video hosting site, which is YouTube. It's owned, by the way, top 10 company. And so you've got all of these accolades for Google. The App Store, the Google Play Store, second only to Apple's share within regards to apps. Number three, distant number three, is Microsoft, and I think like 1% of the market is everyone else, or some crazy like 1 or 2% of the market's like, basically you got to go through one of two companies or you don't develop your app. You're either on Apple or on Google or you're on both. If you're only on Microsoft, nobody knows you exist. If you're not even on Microsoft, truly you don't exist for all intents and purposes. You can build your app. They're not going to stop you from doing that. It's just you won't be able to actually put it where people go to find apps. So you're truly the underground of the underground. You're like sub-Tor at that point. 4chan, you mean that normie site? It's basically what you'd be like. You'd be, they have those pictures that they make where there's the iceberg and then there's like normie internet at the top and then you go down and then they have the picture of the spooky looking dolphin at the bottom and like the Zalgo script and stuff. It's very funny. That's where you are. Now, you're not even at that level. You're down in the abyss even below that. Like, there is no picture because it's just pure blankness. No, the Google tape shows Silicon Valley trying to create a monopoly, basically, is what it is. They're trying to branch out into politics. This is election interference, after a fashion. Not in 2016. They're not even referring to that. They're referring to how sad they are that Trump won. But they are actively planning, if you listen to what they're saying here, to influence politics. They're like, hey, low information voters voting for Trump. They're like, oh, Trump voters remind me of fascists and communists. This is how fascism and communism came to power. No, it isn't. Do you even know anything about the platform? Unfortunately, what this shows is another thing. It doesn't show some mass systemic conspiracy so much as it shows that even the leaders of Silicon Valley are capable of absorbing a bunch of lowbrow propaganda, absorbing it passively because of peer pressure and because they're Californian, because of their surroundings, of course. They're living in a reality that is not the same as the reality lived by most other people. And they're making the same patronizing mistake that every authoritarian movement in human history has made. I know better than you know, so just fucking trust me, you dumb fucks. That's what it boils down to. We've seen this before. I know better than you. It's the nanny state mentality, the authoritarian mentality. Yeah, I believe in a republic, but not if people make the wrong decisions. Yes, we believe in democracy, but not if you're wrong. And you're objectively wrong because I've determined that you are, and I know everything. I am perfect because I'm the head of Google, or I'm Mark Zuckerberg, or I'm a PhD in some field which in some cases doesn't have anything to do with what I'm fucking talking about. This is what religions do. We know better than you. Don't challenge our divine authority. It's the same thing. Every authoritarian movement takes on the same aspect. And it's tied with a moral panic. And in the sense of moral panic, it's exactly the same. In a moral panic, you have the same thing going on. The authority figures, perceived, always perceived. They're never real authorities. They don't have any doctrinal authority. They're always self-proclaimed, like activistic movements, things like that, or they have no state power, at least, generally speaking. They say, well, I'm an expert in the subject of the satanic panic. Yes, devil worshippers are trying to kill your kids. Oh, you don't agree? Well, maybe you're a devil worshipper. This is sort of how it works. It's the same thing with fascism today. Now, most of the people that you're declaring fascist have nothing in common with fascism. There's more of an element of totalitarian rhetoric coming from Silicon Valley when it talks about openly wanting to use AI to manipulate people's political opinions. 10 years ago, by the way, no liberal would have supported that. They would have said it's totally dystopian. I don't even think Google would have supported it at the time. Google needs to take a step back, look in the mirror, and see what the face staring back looks like. Doesn't it look a little bit like what you were fighting against maybe 10 years ago? You know? Just a hint there. Yeah, this is the way that monopolies tend to operate. A group that becomes powerful and remains too hegemonic for too long has this tendency. It's unfortunate. Even the best of groups. I don't have any problem with Google particularly as a company. Like, I've been a YouTuber for over a decade. I enjoy YouTube. I do use a Blogspot. You know, it used to be better back before the DMCA period completely crushed all the musical blogs. I mean, they're like hosting independent content. And then they were using, Mega Upload or something. FBI takes it down, all their links go dead. Half these blogs just quit. They're like, well, we're not going to reload everything, even if this stuff isn't even copyrighted. The band explicitly gave us permission, doesn't give a shit. They want us to post the stuff here. Too bad, there's nowhere to find it now, because the site that we were hosting it on completely fucking went kaput. Then you had like ZipShare and MediaFire and all these. I still use MediaFire for file transfers. It's slow as fuck, but I mean, you know, if you got a big file, I'm not going to use, what does Google have now for like email attachments and everything? That unsecured file transfer system, they don't like post things publicly and it's just totally fucked up. It's like it doesn't even make sense. Yeah. It's a really big problem when Silicon Valley has adopted the concept that the little people are wrong. The little people don't know enough. They're not good enough. They're not smart enough. They're not capable of making their own decisions. We're going to make their decisions for them. We are going to help them see reality the way that we see it. The problem is the people designing that are living in that reality they want to project are much richer than the general population. Their living situation much more urban than the general population. Those are two. Much more American than the general population of the world. When we're talking about the internet, we're not just talking about the US. The reality lived by someone in Kenya or the middle of India or something is not going to be the same as Silicon Valley. There's a total difference. There's a difference on the importance of spirituality. You're attempting to use AI made by fallible human beings to address larger issues than you can possibly comprehend. You're talking about trying to synthesize everything-ness, put it in a bot, and project that reality out onto everyone. You're talking about the meaning of people's lives, their jobs, spirituality, God, and Satan, and theism versus atheism, and stuff like that. Humans should have those conversations. It shouldn't have anything to do with AI. Do you realize how dangerous that is? By the way, it's dangerous to Google. When stuff like this gets leaked out, your brand becomes worth less than it was before. Because the amount of trust people have in your brand, people just passively loved Google and used its services and thought it was wonderful up to a few years ago. Google, oh yeah, how are you going to exist without it? Google search, Gmail, fucking Blogspot, YouTube. Yeah, Google's great. I can remember when, in the old wave of YouTube, it's like, yeah, everyone wanted a YouTube account. Damn. You're not on YouTube? What the fuck are you doing with your life? Dude, make a couple videos. It's fun. Now, though, I see increasingly Google's brand is taking on a negative image. They're becoming recognized as just another corporation. For a corporation that specifically deals with human communication, that's a really, really bad thing. The same is true. Now, it's not just Google. It's Facebook. Facebook is the original gangsta of shitting on their own brand. That's why they're having so many problems right now. When people say Zuckerberg's still making money, he's not making money off Facebook. He sells the same user data over and over. He's not making any ad revenue from it. Half of his income's coming from Instagram. He made a good decision buying it up. By the way, do you honestly think he's not doing the same thing with Instagram, selling off those pictures for AI development? Or to China or something? Of course he is. Don't be an idiot. Don't be a moron all your life. Of course he is. That's how he makes money. It's formulaic. He can sell the same data over and over again. He's going to do that with your pictures. All those lewd photos that you're texting, yeah, they're going to end up on some Chinese server someday. Yeah, when he runs out of legitimate things to sell, what's he going to turn to next? The real lucrative shit. Yeah, he's going to make Pornhub look like a fucking little game. That's what Zuckerberg's going to do. I have nothing but contempt for him. It's like people keep talking about Facebook this, Facebook. Facebook is developing AI to determine what memes are bad or not. I don't give a fuck what Zuckerberg does. I'm not going to use his service. He's so abusive and stupid that I won't even use Facebook. I have an account there that I never utilize. It's just a placeholder. My Facebook group is literally just there to make sure people know no other group is the actual official page, so that nobody can post stupid shit and then blame it on me and try to get me deplatformed. No, my official group is basically empty. It's links to my alt tech presences. It's all it's ever going to be. Why would I want to use Facebook? I spend 5 minutes a day, I get nothing in return. 5 seconds I spend on Minds, I get more in return than using Facebook all day long. No. So I'm disappointed in the Google tape. I wish that Google would come out. If Google wanted to be around forever, all they would have to do is say, after some soul searching, we've decided, no, we don't want to manipulate people's opinions. All these other Silicon Valley firms have turned to the dark side. We're gonna stand for people's liberty for once. Go back to our original don't be evil. And we're not going to do that. And by the way, when the government tells us to do shady shit, we're going to tell the people that use Google before we actually do it so that they can take countermeasures. Ha ha ha. We got so much money. What are they going to do about it? What are they going to do? Sue us? Fine us? Fuck you. That's about all. Peace out.